If what's on the table is you, should you get to see a menu first? A new push for transparency in medical pricing. President Trump promises a crackdown on sanctuary cities. Hundreds have contacted Denver's mayor looking for help, for guidance, for sanctuary. Today, the mayor issued his most defiant statement yet. This week, Next featured weed smoked turkey sandwiches. And you know who was watching? Health inspectors. They moved in today. An apolitical ode to our national parks. A hobby put on ice. A well-known kitchen up for sale. And the first ever canine edition of our favorite Friday pastime, celebrating your good news. We're off the leash, but playing nicely as always. Next. It is no wonder some people don't examine their medical bills closely. Have you ever taken a real look? It's often indecipherable. And maybe that's why an unlikely pair at the Colorado State Capitol wants to at least give you the gift of foresight when it comes to those bills. Here's Chris Vanderveen.
Yep, we messed up. Put the righty on the left and the lefty on the right. Yeah, they disagree.
Which is in this country.
If you can afford it.
Disagreeing a lot, but on this.
So I agree with you.
The two political opposites have come together.
It's something he's come to in a thoughtful manner, and I respect that.
Here it is, their bill, Senate Bill 65. Conservative Kevin Lundberg and liberal Irene Aguilar, the Transparency in Healthcare Prices Act. Here's what it does. Hospitals and other providers would have to tell patients publicly what they would charge if the patient came to them and wanted to pay directly without using insurance for many of the most common procedures. Like, tell me how much you'll charge a mom to deliver a baby there. Or how much for that knee surgery I've always needed. Transparency, the thought goes, will help not just the patient, but it'll breed competition as well.
You put this in place, and I'll guarantee both Hospital A and Hospital B will be looking at these numbers and asking themselves the question, are we doing this right?
We've long documented problems associated with a lack of transparency in healthcare billing. Remember those $350 bags of saline we told you about last year?
That is just morally wrong. There's not even any wiggle room in this.
This bill seeks to try to remedy some of that by forcing providers to be more open with their patients.
I think, sadly, you can call two different providers and either get no price at all, or if you get a price, they vary by a magnitude of 10 or 50 or 100.
Thus, the lefty on the right and the righty on the left say even a partisan should know the status quo simply isn't working.
But yeah, it doesn't work well today at all.
For Next, I'm Chris Vanderveen.
The Colorado Hospital Association, big player in healthcare policy in our state, has come out in favor of this. Probably has something to do with the fact that many hospitals have already started to do it, just in a piecemeal way. That bill passed committee yesterday, unanimously. If President Trump is going to defund sanctuary cities that harbor people here illegally, well, then his administration is going to need to first define the term. Conservatives use it pejoratively, and now liberals are using it proudly. The law doesn't use the term sanctuary city at all. Denver Mayor Michael Hancock defiantly told critics today, call Denver whatever you want. This city isn't changing the way it treats the people living here, including the people living here illegally.
If being a sanctuary city means that we value taking care of one another and welcoming refugees and immigrants, then I welcome the title. If being a sanctuary city means families and young dreamers live with hope and not fear, then Washington can label us whatever they want.
That was from a video posted on the mayor's Facebook page today. It's important to note, Mayor Hancock is not suggesting that Denver formally adopt the title of sanctuary city, as some other cities have done. It was yesterday when Republican Congressman Mike Kaufman from Aurora suggested that those cities should be the ones that are defunded. Prior Supreme Court rulings suggest that the Trump administration may have difficulty with this whole defunding process. So, weed smoked turkey was fun while it lasted, right? Yesterday we showed you the deli in Denver offering bud-infused bird, and today health inspectors moved in to Harsh the Mellow. Cook's Fresh Market in downtown Denver was offering a weed-smoked natural turkey and a weed-roasted natural turkey sandwich. The owner wanted to know how turkey would taste if it was smoked with marijuana instead of applewood chips. And admittedly, he also wanted to know if our story on his weed-smoked turkey could help him determine if it's legal. It's not. The fine folks at the Denver Department of Environmental Health were watching Next this week, and they sent inspectors over to Cook's today.
We consider it a concern for cross-contamination, and also it's a illegal practice. So a facility that's going to make or sell anything with marijuana in it has to have a license to sell those products to consumers.
Fine. The last of the weed smoked turkey was thrown away. Inspectors made cooks pour bleach on it so it wouldn't end up back on the menu. Weed smoked turkey, a Colorado original, dead at the age of 1 day. Speaking of things with 1 foot in the grave, is the A-line working today? The train to the plane? Nope. Train had signal problems. Again, that's the typical issue, and today it caused 20 to 40-minute delays. Buses were brought in so the passengers could get to the airport or to Union Station. RTD soon needs an extension from federal regulators, more time to get its poop in a group, or risk having the line shut down altogether due to these malfunctions. We should mention we welcome your first-hand reports on the A-line. I mean, if you're stuck there, either standing at the station or sitting on a train, why not bust out your phone and take a photo, make a little video with you as the reporter? Kyle Jordan was on it for us this morning when his train ride turned into an unexpected trip by bus. Send us your A-line videos or photos with the hashtag HeyNext or email next@9news.com. Our next question, am I crazy or is the stoplight at 8th in Colorado changing? Not like a stoplight normally changes. Strange changes. One day it's a regular light, the next day it's a light with red arrows. Fear not, it's not our imaginations. The light at 8th in Colorado, one of the busiest intersections in the city, has been changing in some odd ways. About 2 weeks ago, the city installed a light with red arrows, but then traffic got worse, so the city turned back to the old way of operating. They're calling it a test. Testing whether we're paying attention, I think. As the story goes, it was President Abraham Lincoln who said, "You can't believe everything you read on the internet." He didn't say that. Don't email me about that, please. Point is, fake news is not new. We are just talking about it more. And you know, the Longmont Library has decided to teach a course to help people become smarter news consumers. They call it The Real Story Behind Fake News.
I think it's good to let people know that we're there to help them wade through just information overload, even, you know, just how do you find what you can trust and what's valuable and what's quality information. And I think librarians are really at a good place to do that.
And this idea is popular. So they ended up with an overflow crowd of people interested in the course. So the library moved the program to Longmont City Council chambers. It's next Thursday. If you live up there, you can still register to attend. There's a link in this article in the next section on 9news.com. Let's talk now about President Trump's first week in office, and I am joined by two esteemed guests, George Ling, Republican National Committee member from Boulder, and State Senator Dominic Moreno from Commerce City, Democrat and Republican. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
I'm curious what surprised you, George, about President Trump's first week?
Well, I think one of the surprises is the fact that he actually got going right away. He came out of the gate with a lot of ideas, things that he'd promised to do, but after having watched Washington for the years that we've seen, they haven't been pushing these policies as quickly as he's promised to do, and he is doing. So I think it's a pleasant surprise.
Kept promises, a shocker in Washington. Senator, what surprised you about his first week?
You know, I'm going to agree with George, actually, the pace at which he's doing this. You know, he's proposing outlandish policies like it's last call at any bar USA. It's crazy. I mean, this is the first week of his administration, and I don't know how long he can keep this up, you know, and these are all, I think, important to realize that he's doing this through unilateral executive action. This is not Congress.
Well, and some of those are memorandums, some of them are orders, and the difference in that is the force of law behind it, and it's kind of tough to split hairs there. But we have a situation here where President Obama was criticized for moving quickly via executive order. President Trump is moving quickly on a lot of things. And, George, I'm old enough to recall when Republicans also used to mock the president for feeling the need to weigh in on everything. We now have another president who feels the need to weigh in on everything. Is the scattershot approach going to get a ton done, or is it going to get nothing done in the end?
Well, I think we're going to see things moderate over the course of time. He's going to get busier and busier, and it's going to be a little bit more difficult to just weigh in on each issue. But he's a man who has strong views. And this is the way that he has conducted his business very successfully over the course of a long career. And I don't see him necessarily changing a ton, but I would imagine we're going to moderate a little bit on the tweets that we see.
And Senator, I'm curious whether at some point the left is going to moderate some of its criticism, because at this point everything that the president says, does, or tweets is instantly the worst thing in the world. There's never been anything like it, and outrage.
I think you see that energy. I was at the Women's March just last week, and you saw hundreds of thousands of people come out into Denver to protest President Trump's policies. I think that outrage is going to continue because I don't see any letting up on the pace that he's engaging in. So I'm really hopeful that we're going to be able to keep up this momentum and really make some gains in the 2018 midterm elections.
State Senator Dominic Marino and George Ling, RNC member from Boulder, thank you both for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't need to get all up in your face again about dogs and hot cars, but there's a sheriff's office that would like a word about dogs in cold cars. If this guy's cold, it's of his own choosing. An up-close look at a very Colorado sport. And a viewer's words about our national parks getting tangled up in politics. Next. You don't leave your dog in a hot car. You don't do it, of course, because you're not a fool. It's other people who do that. We've discussed that here before. And I bring it up in the dead of winter because the Arapahoe County Sheriff's Office shared a message earlier this week, a AAA warning, that people shouldn't be leaving pets in cold cars either. A reminder that even a car that's had the heat on cools down quickly, and a car can act like a freezer in the cold months. It's a good reminder, quick one for all of us who love our dogs, like me and you and Danielle Grant.
Leave your pooch at home, on the couch, flip on the TV for him, let him kind of enjoy while you're running around doing those errands. Once again, we're going to be watching cold temperatures again tonight. Not quite as chilly, but still we're talking teens tonight in the metro area, about 16. We'll go with partly cloudy skies as a very weak little storm just grazes northeastern Colorado. Just to the west of the Continental Divide, it is a bit of a different story as we're going sub-zero yet again for folks in Gunnison, Lake City, and Alamosa. So tonight you can just kind of see that band of clouds that push through the city. They'll be back with us early tomorrow morning, and look at that. A little bit of light snowfall just sitting along the Continental Divide. Right now it looks like maybe 1 to 3 inches tops. Just a nice little coating of fresh powder for skiers and snowboarders to enjoy throughout the day tomorrow. 46, yes, a nice little warm up heading our direction. It gets warmer from here, folks. We'll be in the mid to upper 40s, low 50s across the eastern plains, and keep it cool, 20s and 30s just to the west. So 50s, they're back in action with us on Sunday and for the start of next week. We're winding down the month of January. Can you believe it? And as we kick off February, nothing but sunshine coming our way. Kyle.
Welcome anytime. Forecast like that. National parks got political this week. It was a spat with President Trump over whether Park Service workers can talk to the media freely. But the thing is, these places themselves are not political. They're pristine. And we appreciated the thoughtful words of a next viewer from Highlands Ranch, Janelle Fernandez, who suggests we might show park workers a little love this weekend. Stop by. Give them a thank you.
I think it's just a good way of showing that even with the media blackout, we are aware, we care. You know, you don't have to carry a sign, wave a flag, shout slogans, argue with anyone. You can just go up and enjoy what it is that we want protected.
Agreed, Janelle. We could call this next thing the most Colorado thing we saw today, but it's actually beyond that.
Conrad Anker, C-O-N-R-A-D-A-N-K-E-R. I've been ice climbing for 40 years, so I'm a long ways in that time. Climbed Everest 3 times, this type of climbing, so I guess I'm at that stage at age 54. I'm kind of a silverback, so. Just being out with friends, meeting new people, that's kind of the spirit of it. Climbing's a very connected community. The people here, there's a lot of trust, communication, friendship, and I wouldn't be who I am without climbing, and it's I'm always encouraging people to get out and give it a try. Take!
When you yawn, I yawn, we yawn. I seriously dare you not to yawn as Dr. Max settles once and for all, is it really contagious? And the things our dogs have taught us about the power of good news. Next.
Something I have always wondered, Dr. Max Wachtel. Oh, don't do that to me. Is yawning really contagious?
It is, and you notice, so I just yawned, you just yawned. That's a very good sign, and I'll explain why in a minute. But yes, science has proven to us that yawning is contagious.
Why is that?
It has to do with empathy. When people are empathic, when they're able to pick up on others' emotions and how they're thinking and feeling, that's where it comes from.
So you're saying even if I'm a jerk, I have some subtle subconscious empathy for someone. And I
yes. Well, yeah. Even though you are a jerk, Steve,
I am a jerk.
You have this unconscious empathy, and it also comes from these things that we have in our nervous system called mirror neurons. So a lot of primates do this. When I smile, you smile. When I frown, you frown. We just mirror each other. And that happens with yawning too, and it might.
I'm not actually doing that too. It really does work.
It feels uncontrollable, and it may actually be happening to viewers at home when that happens.
I do notice that if I'm watching TV and I see someone yawn, or a commercial about somebody who's tired, I yawn as well.
Dogs do it. We can, cats, they don't care. Dogs will empathically, contagiously yawn, especially with each other. And then, if your dog sees you yawn, they will yawn too. They have to be bonded to the human.
Should we try it one more time, see if the folks at home do it?
I'm not even faking this. Just talking about yawning makes me want to yawn.
Hashtag Hey Next if we just made you yawn. Dr. Max Wachtel, thanks so much.
Thank you.
A staple of the food scene in Boulder is closing. Turley's Kitchen on Pearl Street is up for sale. Its owner, Paul Turley, told us today, at age 80, it's time for something less demanding. Turley's Kitchen will stay open until it's sold. Its long-term future is an unknown. Ours, however, and your thoughts on what we've discussed here tonight. Put down your phone. Facebook can wait. Enjoy some good news for a change. It is out there, I swear. You just have to look.
This weather today is great.
The sunshine is good.
You caught me on a good day. It's just incredibly exciting.
The fact that it's Friday, that's a good thing. Just having a dog is a positive thing for sure.
It's definitely therapeutic. It's nice to just take a moment and kind of hang out and watch the dogs play, and they love it, so it makes me happy too.
Millie, my business is positive. So I have a dog walking business, Uptown Dog, and I take dogs to the dog park every day. Sweethearts.
And I'm finally starting a job, a psychiatric nursing job in Denver, so I'm really excited about that.
Enjoying the ski season a lot. That's been really nice. Love living in Denver in general. And I love that I got to be outside all day and active.
We moved here from New York, and we figured they'd hand us like a dog over the border because everyone has a dog here, but they didn't. So we found her through PawsCo, a great adoption organization, and it was love at first sight. But she's a really good reminder just to like get outside every day and come to the park or go for walks. And
come on, Dose.
That's always really a positive thing.
Lots of your feedback tonight on our continuing coverage of sanctuary cities and whether cities like Denver qualify. Perry writes in, Mayor Hancock needs to do the job he was elected to do. If people are here illegally, he needs to send them back. You see, Perry, that is where these cities have an issue because they say it's not their job to enforce federal immigration law. Denver does not refuse to cooperate with feds on this. That sets them apart from cities like San Francisco, and it's why the city says it is not a sanctuary city by that definition. Jody Passler writes, thanks, Kyle, for my new favorite euphemism, get your poop in order. Actually, Jody, it's get your poop in a group. Get your poop in a group. It's my wife's favorite phrase. And finally, Marcia Sanford writes, Kyle, who dresses you really? Look at your shirt and coat. Do they complement each other? Nope. You need help. They look fine to me, Marcia, but that may be the problem. I will see you next time.